Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Stamp and Chat with Kay. It's nice to be here. A bright, sunny day. Still a little chilly, but it's going to be a nice day. There's a lot going on here at the Kultoff household, so we are busy. My husband's on a conference call right now. My daughter is moving to California in 2 days, and so I should be maybe outside right now helping her prepare her car for the big trip. So I may, once I do this Facebook Live, I don't know how quickly I will be editing it and adding the product information. I think I'll get to that this afternoon, but as soon as this Facebook Live is over, I'll post it, and then I'm out the door. So, just have a lot going on. But I'm here, right? Yay! Oh, good. We have so many watchers already. Hooray! Welcome! It's great if you let me know where you're watching from. That way you're automatically entered into the drawing. I will give away 2 cards, the 2 cards that we make today. And then I will also give away with the 2 cards 2 yards of our scalloped woven ribbon in terracotta tile. That's going to be the giveaway when I send out the cards. It's so great to have you here. Thank you. Yes, Carol is very excited about her move to California. She took on a new job out there working for a medical device company. She is a Bluetooth specialist, and so she really gets all that complicated stuff that most of us don't. Her and my husband, when they get together and talk tech, I just pretty much have no idea what they're saying. Pretty normal. And then my other 2 daughters that are in nursing, when they get together and start talking shop, I pretty much have to leave the room. Not that I don't know what they're talking about, but they're kind of graphic. Oh my goodness. Good morning, good morning. Hooray, we have so many wonderful friends watching. Welcome. Okay, well, let me tell you, I have some, I'm looking for my coaster. I have my coffee and not my coaster. Oh well, we'll just take a chance. But I have to tell you, I got some really fun cards in the mail. I cannot wait to share them. 3 super fun and awesome cards. So the first one is from my customer, Elaine Wheeler, and she was telling me in her note that she put in with the card that she wanted to do something related to COVID, to check in with her friends to see how they were doing. So she came up with this card using her husband's drafting tools. Her husband passed away a few years ago, so she's always thanked me for bringing Stampin' Up! Into her life because she said it's really made a difference in giving her a lot of purpose. She's actually the same customer who donated 115 cards to my Befrienders group here locally, where they take the cards out to people who are stay-at-home and right now cannot even receive company. So there's a lot of card sending going on. So her cards are at the church and being used already. So let me share with you this really cute card made by Elaine Wheeler, and it is adorable. So she created a toilet paper roll card, and this is what it looks like. It's just adorable. I'm hoping I'm holding it up enough in a good way so that you can see it. I think what she did here is she used a leaf stamp, one of those leaf stamps that Stampin' Up! Gets where we can stamp a background. And then what I really love about this, so it says hang in there. She's got a little sign on the roll of toilet paper. And then when you open it up, so it opens up like this. Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh. And she used there was some kind of a embossing folder that we had, and I can't remember what it was called, but it had all these little petals, so it even makes the toilet paper look kind of quilted. I don't think you guys are really seeing it. I don't think the light's quite right, but I'll hold it up in hopes that you see what I'm talking about. There it is. All right, so here again is what it looks like from the front. I have to give you guys the full view. It's so cute. And then when you open it up like this, it says, just thought you might need a little pick-me-up. So it's so cute. So thank you, Elaine. You're just a doll. You are such a doll. And I'm so lucky to have you as a customer and as a friend for these many, many years through Stampin' Up! All right, so let's go on to the next card. This one is also from a customer. She actually came to my very first Stampin' Up! Open house back in 2007. And she has been buying Stampin' Up! Products from me ever since. And so this is a very beautiful and elegant card made by Julie Nelson. And she loves butterflies. In fact, she even has the word butterfly in her email. And so of course she would make a butterfly card. And it's stunning, absolutely stunning in every way. So be ready to be blown away by this gorgeousness. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh. Such a beautiful and elegant card. And Julie just knows how much I love elegant cards like this. And so she sent it to the right person. So thank you so much, Julie Nelson. You just are a treasure. Okay, so let's move on to the next beautiful card that I got in the mail. And this one is from my downline member, Dawn Michaels, and she sent me a Mother's Day card. Oh my gosh, I was so happy. So let me share it with you. It uses the Timeless Tulips, and be ready for bright. Here it is, and it's so, so incredible. I love the bright tulips that she put on here, and just everything about it. And she popped the tulips up also on dimensional, so they have a lot of really nice lift. So thank you so much, Dawn Michaels. You are such a treasure. She is in our Creative Crafters Stamping to Share downline group. And she is so kind and generous and giving, and we really have a treasure with her in our group. So thank you so much, Dawn. Your card is absolutely beautiful. All right, now what I'm going to do is everybody just look away for about 30 seconds. I'm going to turn the camera down, get it all adjusted. So we'll be back. Okay, let me just adjust this a little bit more. And I think we are good. Okay, so let me show you the card we're going to make today. And you might have been intrigued by the title or by how I talked about it on Instagram and then over on my Facebook page and in our Happy Stampers Stamping to Share group, in that it was made from card pieces. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, in our Creative Crafters group, so in my downline group, one of my downline members, Mary Alice Bellis, started a really fun game where we would respond to a post in our private group, and the person who responded had to send card parts to the person above. And so these are the card parts that I got in the mail. And the rule was we only had to send card parts. We didn't necessarily have to send embellishments. And we could add paper if we wanted to. So this is actually what I got in the mail. So I'm going to show this to you. These are card parts from Brenda Hillard. So she's in our group. And so this is what she sent me. She sent me a terracotta tile card base. She sent me a panel of crumb cake. She sent me a panel of Mosaic Mood Specialty Designer Series paper. And she sent me this, a little frame created with the stitched framelets, the stitched rectangular framelets. So these are the 4 pieces that I received in the mail. And so let me move these aside. And this is the card that I created from those 4 pieces. I'm going to share with you today exactly how I did that, along with all the measurements, and then the giveaway is going to be this terracotta tile woven ribbon with the little scalloped edges. It's so pretty. Normally, I probably would have given away these little, what are they? The little floral essence centers that I dyed with the terracotta tile ink, but I'm down to 3 of them. So I think we'll be giving those away. Okay, so this is what the inside panel looks like. And let me share with you the stamps that we're going to use. We are using Waterfront. So we're not actually using the images from the Waterfront stamp set, which are beautiful, but I do just love the sentiments in this stamp set. The one we're using is "Every little kindness makes the world brighter." And then the inside panel says, "And the hard times easier," which is just so perfect for this era that we're living through, this terrible pandemic. So this is a great card to send to someone who is sending you a little kindness. So I am going to now share the other thing that I used on this card to create the little floral piece. I used the 4-petal flower punch, which is being discontinued. It's actually part of a stamp set, or it could, at one point it was bundled. I don't think no, you can't get it as a bundle anymore, but it does coordinate with the Pop of Petals stamp set. So like I said, I never used the Pop of Petals stamp set, but I did want to show you this so that you could see how the punch does coordinate with things. And now the Pop of Petals stamp set and the punch are being retired and only available for purchase while supplies last. So I did use that to create this really cute embellishment here at the bottom of the card. So what I did is so let me go ahead now and tell you what the measurements are so that you can recreate this if you would like to, because it's a really fun card to make. So what we have here, and since I'm making 2 cards today, I'm just going to grab everything out. We've got a 5.5 by 8.5 panel, which looks like this, of our terracotta tile in color designer series paper, and then I've scored it at 4 1/4. That makes just your regular card base. So I'm going to take my bone folder, and I have to say we've had a lot of customers lately ordering bone folders, so I don't know if you've ever just not used one before, or if you've just decided that now is the time to get one, or if you had one and you just wanted a new one, or you wanted to keep a bone folder in multiple places in your house. I understand. I have them all over the place. So we are ready with our card bases. The next thing that we have is this panel of Mosaic Mood Specialty Designer Series paper. This is also being discontinued and only available while supplies last. This was in the little kit that I got from Brenda Hillard. And it looks like this, so it's really pretty. It's got a lot of shine, and it's just really pretty. It almost looks like it's been embossed with clear embossing powder. And this is the panel we're going to use. And it is, when I received it from Brenda, it was at 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so I have 2 of them here, and I'm going to show you on camera how to cut them. Okay, so let's do this. These are the cuts you want to make. I'm going to try and put this together so you can see what we're going for. So here's our panel. Don't worry, I'm going to go through this with you so that you understand what we're doing here. So you have your panel that is 4 by 5 1/4 inches, right? Then, so this one's already cut and ready. This is the one I'm going to prepare for you. And this is the way you're going to do it. You can use your Stampin' Trimmer, but I happen to have the cute little trimmer from Stampin' Up! That they gave away during celebration. I like using it on my desk. It just doesn't take up very much room. So what you want to do is you have this all ready to go, and what you want to do, oh no, it's not going to work because I can't turn it kitty kilter. So that is one of the disadvantages of having this little mini trimmer. So let me grab my other trimmer, which is just behind me here, very handy. So this is the Stampin' Trimmer. And what we want to do is we want to put this in, and we are going to trim diagonally across the front of this card. So let me get it all set up here. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that this corner and this corner are ready to go. They're in that little groove. And I just bring it up, and your first cut is going to look like this. 2 pieces, just like this. So one of the pieces you're just going to set aside because we're going to do our flower punch outs from it. The other piece, you're going to turn like this, and you're going to set it up onto your cutter, and you're going to cut right here. You're going to line up the peak of this little roof right at the top there where the groove is, and then you're going to cut again so that you have a piece that looks like this. Okay? This is the piece you're going to use on your card front, and this is the panel that you're going to put on the inside of your card. So I'm going to grab my cards now. So one of the pieces that came in that little kit was a piece of crumb cake. So you want to cut that at 4 by 5 1/4. And you're going to do the inside panel with this little piece. So I'm just going to put that down with a little multi-purpose liquid glue, very quick and easy. And I'm going to be very careful today not to put my glue into my coffee cup, which is what I did the last time. Oh, it was a mess. Okay, so there's one piece. That's the inside panel. And since I'm doing 2 cards here, I'm just going to take this little one that we were working with over here and do the exact same thing and get both of our inside panels done and out of the way so we can continue on. That means there's less pieces on my desk. There we are. So we have our 2 inside panels with the smaller triangle. The next thing we're going to want to do is take those other panels, and again, you're going to be using some crumb cake, and again, these are both cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to set up for our outside panel. So those are going to go like this. All right. So then I'm just going to take my multi-purpose liquid glue again. And we're going to set this on. So I can just wiggle it into place. And depending on how accurately you cut, you may have a little edge here. That's not going to matter. If you do have a little edge, grab a scissors. You'll probably have a scissors handier than I do at the moment. You're going to trim that off. So we're just going to set this one here as well. Hopefully I cut this correctly. I did. I don't know, this one seems a lot longer, but again, it isn't going to matter because there's going to be some ribbon covering that up. Let me go grab my scissors. It's just across the room. Okay, so if you do have a little edge here, just flip it over to the other side and trim that little corner. There we go. Then what we want to do is take your other pieces that look like this, because this was that long side, and you're going to take your flower punch, and you're just gonna punch out 2 flowers. So here's one, and here's another one, and do the same thing over here. So you get quite a bit of mileage out of this one panel of paper. So you've got enough to make your embellishment, and you've got enough to decorate both the inside and the outside of the card. Now I'm going to take my bone folder again, and what I want to do is I want to curl up my petals. So again, this is another use for a bone folder, is to just use it as a little curler for your petals. Now we're going to use the yellow side to the front, so I'm curling it so that it curls up like that. Do the exact same thing with these 2, and that's going to be making our little accent on the front of our card. Terry's telling me she has this paper and hasn't actually used it yet. Terry, that's incredible that you've had this paper this long and not used it, because I find it a really versatile paper. It's so pretty. Of course, it is hard to cut into, I will admit that, because it is so gorgeous that you really don't even hardly want to use it. So now what I'm doing is I'm just putting a little dot of glue in the center, and I'm just going to layer this little flower like this. And we're going to do the same thing for this one. There we go. And then we're going to work on our accent for that flower. So bring in your terracotta tile ink pad, and then I have a sponge dauber here. So I find that very helpful. And then what you're going to do is there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can take your little floral essence flower center, which is just so cute and fuzzy. I just am so sad to see these go. And you can just press it into your ink pad, kind of like this. Get it so that the ink is getting all around on the flower. And then what I do is I pick it up and I just dab it with a sponge dauber. And it probably takes about 40 seconds to do this, to get it to the color that you want. And I don't want to wait that long. So I'm going to set this one aside. We'll finish that up later. But I have two that are already done, because then after it's done, you want it to dry. Okay, so I have two that are dry. And this is what you do. These little guys are so great. I don't even know. Stampin' Up! Might even be out of them already. That's the thing. When they announce their closeout, things can go really fast. But these are self-adhesive, so you just take off the little adhesive. And then, because I have rather large fingers, I take the take your pick tool and I flip it over, and then I'm just going to set it in the middle of my little flower like this. So we're going to do the same thing with the other one that I have prepared in advance. Take off that little adhesive piece, put it onto your take your pick tool, and then just set it right into the center of your flower. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love them. And you know, they're not terribly bulky. They're sort of soft, but I don't know. I have been able to have them go through the mail. I just put on one of those 2-ounce stamps, and then I protect it with a little bit of cardstock in front of it, and I haven't had any problems. Okay, so now, oh, and then you get ink on your fingers and get it on your card. That's not good. Somehow I got a little glue up here. So the next thing that you want to do is you're going to use this. So this, you're going to use it with whatever die cutting and embossing machine that you have, and you're going to cut this out. So this is our stitched rectangles. And this is just a piece of scrap paper. And what I did is I took the 4th and 5th largest from the center, and I layered them together, and I ran it through my machine at one time. And then this little piece set aside for another project. And this is the piece we're going to use on this project, because this is what was included with my little card pieces that I got in the mail. All right, and then go ahead and bring back this guy. And what you want to do next, so you've got these ready, just set those aside. But what you want to do next is grab your silicone mat or something similar, and you are going to take the ribbon, and we're going to put ribbon down. So I'm gonna just figure out here about how much I need, and then cut that. And we're going to do this for both cards. And even though on this card I didn't do it, I think it would look better with it. So I'm also going to cut to do my inside panel, because these are my giveaways to you guys, and I want to make sure they're just perfect and looking really finished. So now what we're going to do is we'll take these longer pieces that are going to go on our outside panel. We're going to grab our snail, which again is changing. We're not going to have snail for very much longer, but that's okay, because Stampin' Up! Is coming out with something great. so don't you worry about it. I'm not sure if the refills are still available or not. I know they were going like crazy. I know a lot of my customers were ordering them. So then once you have your snail on the back, you can just layer this over the top of that paper and press it down. Just like so. Then I just flip it over, take my ribbon scissors, and I just trim that even with the edge. And we're going to do that up here as well. And we're going to, and then I should have probably done this in advance, but I didn't think to do it. Like I said, we're a little discombobulated here at the Kaltoff house with everything going on. Steve and I went golfing last night because we were in a couples league, and we had a great score between the two of us. We did so well. Every time he would mess up, I would do really good, and every time I would mess up, he would do really good. So we were really playing good golf. So it was really fun. And it was just so nice to get out of the house and do something. So Minnesota is relaxing its rules a little bit, so we are allowed to go golfing. And we even golfed with another couple, but of course we kept our distance. We had Lysol wipes with us in our golf cart, and then of course you can't touch the flags or anything like that, so you just kind of go up to where the cup is and call it good if the ball hits that rimmer around the cup. But it's been really fun to get out, and I'm so glad we're a part of this golf league because it's just given us some like sense of normalcy in this time of everything being very abnormal. But then of course other years when we've been in this league, we always go out for supper afterwards, and we can't do that, so we just came home and had scrambled eggs. Kind of dull, but you know, we were still together, still part of the date. There we go. So this is the inside panel now, for those of you wondering. And it's just that little shorter piece that we're doing. We're just going to set this on just at the same angle as the paper going up, and then you just flip it over and trim off the excess. There we go. So, not too much left for card assembly. I'm sure you're quite grateful. All right, so let's go ahead now and finish up this card and do our stamping. So we have our card base. Let's grab the inside panels right here and do the stamping on that. So again, we're going to bring the terracotta tile in. We're going to take the inside sentiment. Because we're using photopolymer, I like to have a little bit of a cushion. So I'm going to use the Stamparatus Cushion Mat for photopolymer stamps. It works great. And then we're going to stamp, and the hard time's easier, which makes sense when you open up the card after reading the front panel. So there it is. Now we'll put the front panel together, and we'll do our stamping in the front panel. So if you want to, you can just get an idea of where this is all going by going like this. And so what you're aiming for here is about the same distance on the right and the left. And then, I don't know, I kind of just am looking at the right and left, and then I want this little corner to sort of be in the middle of that ribbon going down. Then what I'm going to do is, now that I know where I want to put that, I think I'm just going to put it on with some snail. So let me grab this again. We're going to take a chance here and do our stamping later. But I'm going to put snail all the way around this rectangular panel. And then we're going to set that on our card. So again, I want to make sure the right and the left are about even. I want to bring this down about like this. And that looks pretty good here. And then we're going to take our sentiment for the inside panel and do a little stamping. So just stamp that right here. And again, we're using the terracotta tile ink. Now make sure, because you're not stamping on Whisper White or Very Vanilla, so you want to be patient with this and give the ink a little time to absorb into this panel of crumb cake, because the crumb cake isn't quite as smooth as Whisper White or Very Vanilla. So we're going to do the same thing for this card. So I'm going to flip it over. And you probably could use multi-purpose liquid glue here if you wanted to. I think I just used snail the first time I made this card, so that's what I'm doing now. And we're going to set this on. Again, you want to just have the right and the left about even. And that looks pretty good. And then when you decide you have it where you want it, just give it a press. And just as a FYI, I kind of make sure that that bottom panel is about right in the middle of the ribbon. So that sort of looks good. Then, again, do your stamping. And it says, every little kindness makes the world brighter. It's so nice. Okay, so now all we have to do is add our cute little embellishment that we made, and we just have to add this to the front of our card. So I'm going to flip these over. I'm going to use some multi-purpose liquid glue and make just a nice line around both of them, and we'll put them on our card. So here's the front panel. Oh, it's so bright and cheerful, you guys. And it looks so cool to have this frame over the top of the ribbon like that. It's just kind of something unexpected that you wouldn't really expect to see in a card. It's just a fun little design detail that you just don't see that often. So it makes for a really fun card. Then we're going to take our inside panels, and don't they look nice and finished with that ribbon? And so we're going to flip that over. Again, I'll just add a little glue here at the top, keep it nice and loose. And we'll put this on the inside panels of our cards. Press that down. Do the same thing over here. Press that down, and look at that. Now, all we have to do is add our adorable little flower accents. And the way I'm going to do that, so I'm going to get my glue dots here. And then I'm just going to take off these glue dots with my Take Your Pick tool, because it's just so much faster for me to do it this way than to bring the flower to the glue dot, because then I end up putting it where I don't want it. So I'm just putting 3 glue dots on the back of each of these flowers. Glue dots is also really nice to use just because this is a little bit of a shiny material here on the back side. And anytime you're putting glitter or foil or anything shiny on your card, the glue dots work great for that. So now we're going to take this and we're going to set it right here in the corner of our card, just like that. It looks so pretty and friendly. And we're going to do the same thing to this one over here. Let's put it right here. And our cards are complete. So here's what the inside, or here's what it looks like on the outside. And then here's what it looks like on the inside. Isn't that fun? So I'll get these all lined up so you guys can see what they look like. Here's all 3 cards. And I just think they turned out so lovely. So again, thank you so much for being a part of the Stamping to Share community. Please like my page if you haven't already done that. And then I also have a private, well, it's not private, it's a public Facebook group, but it's called Happy Stampers Stamping to Share. And I always do free PDFs on the cards that I make on my Facebook Lives, and I post those at my blog. So if you're a member of that Facebook group, Happy Stampers Stamping to Share, I will put out the link on there when the PDF is ready and the blog has posted, because those are usually follow a couple of days later. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you in a couple of days with another Facebook Live. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.